Talking Head. Did David Byrne ever play? I'm sure maybe with R&R you have a relationship with David Byrne at all. This is it. They went to school at RISD. So I don't know if
Hmm.
you probably listened to HFS back in the day. But 41 is Talking Heads Road to Nowhere.
So David Byrne is from Baltimore. Yeah, he went to the Rhode Island School of Design. Honestly, my interactions with David Byrne were difficult early on during Talking Heads' heyday.
Yeah.
Not an easy guy to interview or talk to. He is completely different today. When you see David Byrne on the Stephen Colbert show, he's like the happiest guy alive. He was not that way in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I think what's significant about Road to Nowhere is that it's such a timeless song. I mean, he's still performing it
Right.
during, American Utopia on Broadway.
Right.
And Talking Heads, top 5 band for me. I can think of few others who were as innovative as Talking Heads. I think it's really a shame that, there's this giant chasm that exists between Chris Frantz, Tina Weymouth, and David Byrne. And I doubt that we'll ever see them on, I guess they played at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction when they were inducted. But can you think of a bigger payday?
Oh, right.
Out there? The organizers of Coachella or some of these other festivals who have a ton of money, there must be so much money on the table for a Talking Heads reunion that will never happen. It's really too bad.
And I think it's
I think
really
it'd be
him.
great.
Yeah.
Because of him, it won't happen.
Yeah, well, he has said repeatedly, not interested. And, I respect that. He obviously is a great artist. But I think for the fans of Talking Heads, to this day, there's 2 concerts I will say that stand out in my career. One was seeing Pink Floyd perform The Wall, because there was nothing like that. There was just mind-blowing stage production, constructing the wall and then tearing it down, at the Nassau Coliseum for 5 nights in a row.
That was 1980. Larry the Duck mentioned that story about how LIR saved the day at that show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but the other one was the Stop Making Sense tour.
Oh, you were at that.
And that was just like at Forest Hills Tennis Stadium.
Yeah.
One of the great shows I've ever seen.
So you prefer Talking Heads, the expanded Talking Heads, as opposed to the 4-piece?
Well, I mean, that was
pretty cool. I like the expanded as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was the grand vision of David Byrne, who was like, it's so brilliant, and like, we're going to go out, we're going to play big venues. We need a big band. And that was his approach, and it was stellar. It was just like exactly what you need. You need those big gestures when you're on a stadium, and the way that show started too, because if you've seen the Jonathan Demme directed film, David Byrne walked out on stage with a guitar and a boombox.
Yeah.
And started that show by playing an acoustic version of Psycho Killer. And as he got halfway through it, the rhythm section walks out. And now, there's a drummer behind the kit. And then Tina walks out and starts playing bass. And the whole show just built from there. And it got bigger and bigger to the point where they had these gospel singers and horn players. And it was just like, I mean, go watch Stop Making Sense. It's a study. And
every year I watch it.
I due to watch that again. Yeah.
Oh no, I watch it constantly. It constantly amazes me, and just the theatrical nature of that whole thing, of just a performance. And yeah, as you mentioned, he always had this vision of something bigger and better. And I think that was where we got American Utopia. It's like I have these ideas and I can't do that with Talking Heads. I can only do this on my